going, everybody? So the time has come. We're talking Keeper. As you all know, I do love me some horror films, and unfortunately, we have moved past October, so it's not peak spooky season. Still, nevertheless, it's Osgood Perkins, and it's crazy to think this is the third Osgood Perkins film within about a year and a half. The man is cranking out these films like crazy. Longlegs, The Monkey, and Keeper. Back to back to back, and he's already working on a whole other film. Legitimately, I don't know how he does it. Does he have free time? Kinda gotta respect the fact that Neon has no problem just giving Osgood Perkins money over and over again to direct horror films. I don't think this is a controversial thing to say, but the majority of Osgood Perkins films have a divisive nature to them. Some of that for sure is brought upon by how Neon decides to market his movies. Longlegs in particular had some of the best marketing of any horror film in recent years, whereas the marketing for Keeper has been almost the exact opposite. I went into this film barely having a clue what the hell the film is even about. You guys have no idea how many times I've watched the trailer for Keeper and dissecting things frame by frame, trying to figure out what is going on with this couple in this secluded cabin. And though Keeper doesn't have a marketing campaign behind it like Longlegs talking about how it's the scariest movie ever, all the promotional material for the film is interspliced with pull quotes from great directors like James Wan, Guillermo del Toro, Bong Joon-ho, and then for some reason Eli Roth. Like always, Oz Perkins' style shines through here in Keeper, with the feelings he evokes through his direction and sound design. How he shoots these sequences and the isolated setting at play, the gradual tension, how this mystery unravels bit by bit until some genuinely horrific nightmare-fueled sequences reveal themselves. We've had a lot of great horror moments in 2025. There was a moment in Keeper inside of this basement. I don't want to give away too much of the scene to ruin the surprise for you, but what you see visually, it's pretty wild. Until you get to the latter half of Keeper, the film really rides that line as far as giving you bits and pieces to build up intrigue. There's certainly a handful of details myself, and more than likely general audiences, more than likely are going to wish they had additional context to. So that's something to keep in mind, but I do feel like there is enough stuff answered in the climax of the film that I would say pays off. If you're not into slow burn style horror films though, this could be a movie that could frustrate you a little bit, just to give you a fair warning. It's difficult because the actual plot, for as mysterious as they play this story, wrapped at its core in love, it is weirdly simple in a sense. Tatiana Maslany and Rossif Sutherland anchor this film pretty well with their performances. Especially Tatiana Maslany, I'm glad she actually gets a leading role in this, as opposed to her very small part in Osgood Perkins' The Monkey earlier this year. I've been a big fan of hers for quite some time now. If you want a good laugh, my photo with Tatiana Maslany is probably one of my favorites I've ever taken at a convention. Her character is consistently freaked out by all of the weird witchy horrors she sees around this cabin in the woods, much to her significant other's disbelief. Besides the two of them, however, I wasn't a big fan of the rest of the cast. I'm not entirely sure if it was just the clunky dialogue they were given, or all around I just feel like the majority of them lacked chemistry with one another, but either way, I do think they are one of the weaker points of the film. Out of his last three films, I do think this is Oz Perkins' weakest. Arguably, you could contribute a lot of that to the fact that Keeper is a much more simple idea compared to the stuff at play in Longlegs and The Monkey. Those two films were a lot more ambitious ideas-wise. I'm definitely intrigued by whatever inspired Perkins for the film, because Keeper certainly does have a lot of different influences in various different genres, because it's not like straight up horror most of the time. It is kind of like a psychological thriller. In some ways, it is this hodgepodge of ideas from a lot of other horror films and thrillers, like, you know, Misery, The Night House, or Midsummer. Even if I do think that this is the weakest of the run that Oz Perkins has had in the last year and a half, if you enjoy Perkins' style of slow burn storytelling, there's some solid creepy tension built as the story starts to come into focus. I definitely feel like if the screenplay was a little bit stronger overall, this could have been so much better. I don't think it's terrible by any means. Like I said though, if you're not a fan of slow burn horror films and movies that leave some questions unanswered, I do worry that general audiences are not going to be a big fan if you go out and see this. The marketing has not been great for it compared to The Monkey and Longlegs, so I will be intrigued if a lot of people actually go out and see it this weekend, or if you're even aware that Keeper is out. Once you get a chance to check out the film though, make sure you share your thoughts down below. What'd you think of Keeper? Did you like the film? Did you not like the film? Thank you guys. As always, chat videos, I always do appreciate it. Make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel so many reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.